Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're embarking on a truly fascinating journey, diving deep into two incredibly distinct regions of France. We're talking Mode de France up in the north, and then Brittany way out in the northwest. You might think you have a handle on French regional identities, but these two, they're really going to challenge some perceptions, I think, show you just how layered France actually is.
That's absolutely the plan. We want to get past the usual travel brochure stuff. Our mission here is to really unearth the unique identities, the historical forces at play, those cultural nuances, and yeah, the surprising elements too that make each one special. And we'll definitely be contrasting them. All our info today, it's coming from this great source, KennyFranceResearchNotes.pdf. Really rich, detailed stuff in there.
Right. And what that means for you listening in is that hopefully understanding these regions gives you some new insights into France's diversity. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses,
Yeah.
revealing how varied these local identities are. It could make your next trip, or even just your understanding of France, well, a whole lot richer. So let's kick things off up north. Hauts-de-France. It borders Belgium, the English Channel. And from what I'm seeing in the notes, it feels like a place deeply shaped by its past, but also kind of looking forward.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Hauts-de-France, its core identity,
Hmm.
it's really defined by this strong working class spirit. Think solidarity, resilience, a certain humility. And that wasn't just, handed down. It was forged by a history of coal mines, railroads, and sadly, really devastating wars. There's also this real cultural closeness to Belgium. You definitely see it. Architecture, the food, fries, and beer. Obviously, even a similar, sometimes a quite dry sense of humor. The people themselves, generally known for being warm, but also proud and tough, definitely tough. There's a real sense of regional belonging,
Hmm.
you know, influenced by Flemish, Picard, Walloon traditions, language, lifestyle, all that. And historically, Catholicism was pretty significant, especially in the countryside and the mining towns, sort of a social glue.
Right, a region forged by a hardship and industry, it sounds like. You mentioned the devastating wars. How much did something like World War I specifically, really change the place? Not just the land, but the people's identity.
Oh, hugely. That's absolutely pivotal. This region was, I mean, literally the epicenter of destruction in WWI.
Hmm.
Battles like the Somme, Arras, Vimy Ridge,
Mm.
they didn't just flatten the landscape, they profoundly reshaped the collective identity.
Yeah.
That deep resilience we mentioned, a lot of that comes from there.
Wow.
But even before that, you had medieval powerhouses here, wool trade, amazing Gothic architecture. Think Arras, Mayan.
Yeah.
Then, 19th, 20th centuries becomes France's industrial engine.
Mm.
Coal mines fueling everything. And then World War II, it was occupied by Germany. Dunkirk, of course, was absolutely crucial for the Allied evacuation.
Right, Operation Dynamo.
Exactly. Then after the wars, you had that tough period, industrial decline, high unemployment. But lately, there's been this powerful resurgence.
Hmm.
Heritage tourism, cultural pride. It's quite something. And all these historical layers kind of culminated in 2016 when Nord-Pas-de-Calais and Picardy actually merged to form the Hauts-de-France region we talk about today.
So, with that powerful working class history and that resilience, I bet that history really shines through in the local traditions, right? What kind of celebrations do they have?
Oh, definitely. The traditions are really vibrant. You've got the Carnival de Dunkirk. It's wild. Costume
Mhm.
parades, street parties, and yes, the famous fish throwing.
Fish throwing. Seriously. Seriously. Into the crowds. It's this joyous chaos, all powered by these amazing brass bands. Then you have the giant puppet festivals, Les Géants. These are incredible. Huge papier-mâché figures, sometimes like 20 feet tall, representing local legends or historical figures. They parade them through town.
Wow, giant puppets. Okay.
And St. Barbara's Day, that's important, especially for miners, former miners, metal workers, tied right into that industrial past. And of course, the Braderie de Lille, Europe's biggest flea market, and the tradition there. Eating massive piles of mussels and fries washed down with beer.
Fish throwing, giant puppets, mountains of mussels.
Nah.
Sound like there's a real, almost down-to-earth, maybe even irreverent energy there. Do they carry over to the food and music?
It absolutely does. The food is, well, it's hearty, comforting, often shared with a good local beer. Think Welsh rarebit, but the local version, with beer and mustard mixed into that melted cheese over toast. Really savory.
Sounds good. Or carbonade flamande, that classic beef stew, slow-cooked in dark beer. So rich. Then there's pâte It's a chilled terrine, usually chicken, rabbit, pork, served cool in its little pot.
Interesting.
And for cheese fans, tarte Marais, pie made with that really strong, pungent regional cheese. It's an acquired taste for some, but locals love it.
Right, I've heard of Marais cheese. Intense.
It is. And fries, of course. Fries with everything, even stuffed into a fricadelle sandwich that's a sort of deep-fried sausage patty. For sweets, you've got sugar pie, waffles, those speculoos cookies, the spiced biscuits, and chicory-based coffee is a traditional thing, too.
And the beer must be important, given the Belgian connection.
Oh, essential. Local brews like Chéty, Three Monts, Bellerose,
Yeah.
they really echo those Belgian brewing styles. Musically, you get Chéty folk music. That's the local dialect to card. Accordion, fiddle, often funny or nostalgic lyrics. And the chansons de mineurs, songs of the coal miners. Really powerful stuff about solidarity, struggle, tells their story. Modern bands, too, like Skip the Youths from Lille. The Lille era scene is pretty lively. Some good rap and slam poetry coming out of there, too.
Yeah.
The brass bands, the fanfares, they're everywhere at parties and parades. Really central.
It sounds like such a grounded, authentic culture. I'm wondering, how does that authenticity show up in, say, traditional clothes or the landscape or even famous figures from the region?
Well, traditionally, clothing was very practical. Miners in their blue overalls and flat caps, farmers maybe in wooden clogs, reflecting their work. Today, it's mostly casual, practical stuff. But then you get the carnival and Jayance festivals, and people pull out these amazing, elaborate, often satirical costumes. It's quite a sight.
Right.
Nature-wise, think flat plains, big open fields, beets, potatoes, wheat, flax, some wooded areas with foxes, boars, and then the coast, the Opal Coast cliffs, dunes, lots of seabirds. There are regional parks doing good work preserving wetlands, too.
Okay. And famous people.
Oh, yeah. Jules Verne, the author, born in Amiens. Émile Zola set Germinal, his famous novel about coal miners, right here, really captured the struggle. And the actor-director Danny Boone, his movie Bienvenue chez les Ch'tis, really put the Ch'ti identity and dialect on the map, internationally even.
Ah, yes, I remember that film.
Charles de Gaulle, too, born in Lille, a huge figure in French history. And there's a big football culture, RC Lens, Lille OSC, plus a really strong comic book scene, the bande dessinée. That Franco-Belgian tradition is alive and well there.
So many layers indeed. And what about the cities themselves? Any specific landmarks that really stand out if someone were to visit? What shouldn't they miss?
Definitely some iconic places. Lille is fantastic. The Grand Place, the Flemish architecture, it's got a real buzz, lots of students. And the Citadel, the Vauban fortifications, incredible military architecture. Amiens has the Notre Dame Cathedral. It's the largest in France, UNESCO site. And these unique floating gardens, the Jardinages, little garden plots on canals, really cool.
Floating gardens, okay.
Arras has this beautiful Baroque town square and these tunnels underneath the city, the boves, used in WWII. And a great Gothic belfry. Dunkirk, obviously, the port city, the WWII history, Operation Dynamo. And Lens, which is fascinating. He's got the Louvre Lens Museum now, a branch of the Louvre right in a former mining town, a real symbol of change.
That's quite a statement, putting the Louvre there.
It really is. And you also have to mention Vimy Ridge. The Canadian memorial there is incredibly moving. And the Somme battlefields, generally, very powerful places.
It's clear this region tells a powerful story of survival, of revival. How does that translate into like the local language and how people express their pride today?
It's interesting. French is official, of course, but you definitely still hear the historic Picard dialect and especially that distinctive Ch'ti or Ch'timi accent and slang, particularly up north. Locals use common expressions like hein. It's like saying right, or
Right.
the end of a sentence. Very versatile. Bilout is a friendly term like buddy or mate. Got a boost from Danny Boone's film. There's On est tout du nord, we're all from the north. A real expression of shared identity, solidarity. And maybe fait frisquet, huh? It's a chilly, huh? Often said with a bit of a smile, acknowledging the weather.
Ah, right.
And the regional slogans really capture it. Fier d'être Ch'ti, proud to be Ch'ti, straightforward pride. And terre de mémoire, terre d'avenir, land of memory, land of the future. I think that perfectly sums up their whole journey.
Land of memory, land of the future. Okay. So what does this all tell us about France? We've got this region shaped by industry, war, resilience. Now prepare yourself because we're about to head west for a complete contrast. Brittany. All right, complete shift now. Let's head west to Brittany. Bretagne, rugged coast, northwest France. And the notes suggest this is, well, almost like a different country within France. Deep Celtic roots, very independent spirit.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Culturally, Brittany feels much closer to places like Ireland or Wales, the other Celtic nations, than it does to, say, Paris or even Haute-de-France. It's steeped in mythology magic. You hear ties to Arthurian legends, druids, that kind of thing.
Right, Merlin and King Arthur territory.
Exactly. And the seafaring tradition is incredibly strong. Fishermen, lighthouses, sailors, it's woven into the fabric of life there. There's this profound sense of a distinct identity. Many Bretons advocate for more autonomy, for preserving their culture. Storytelling, music, the Breton language, ancestral pride, these are huge. You often hear people say they feel Breton first, French second. That really tells you something.
That deep sense of identity is really striking. How did its history play out? I mean, it obviously became part of France, but how did it maintain that independence for so long?
Well, its history is just as unique. Its origins go way back to Celtic Armorica, part of ancient Gaul. For centuries in the early Middle Ages, it was actually an independent kingdom that a powerful duchy really held onto its identity. Even after the official union with France in 1532, it managed to retain a distinct culture, its own language. Quite remarkable, really.
Hmm.
During World War II, it was a resistance stronghold. That rugged terrain, coastal and inland, really helped the Maquis, the French resistance fighters. Then in the 20th century, you saw these strong revival movements pushing to protect the Breton language,
Right.
Breton traditions.
Ah,
And yeah, even today, there are ongoing debates about regional autonomy, maybe even independence, a bit like you see in Scotland or Catalonia. It's about preserving that unique heritage.
a living history, absolutely. So what kind of traditions come out of that deep past and strong identity?
Oh, the traditions are fantastic. You have the festnas, these are night festivals, live Breton music, traditional circle dances. They're really community focused, keeping the culture vibrant.
That's Nas.
Okay. Then there are pardons. These are unique religious pilgrimages.
Mhm.
They often mix Catholic beliefs with older pre-Christian symbolism. Processions, blessing boats or animals. Really fascinating.
Interesting blend.
You'll also see local takes on things like the galette des rois, the king cake for Epiphany, and Celtic New Year celebrations, definitely influenced by ancient Samhain. The Inter-Celtic Festival of Lorient is huge. It brings together people from all the Celtic nations every year. Music, dance, culture, a massive event. And they even have their own traditional wrestling style, Goran. Focuses on technique, sportsmanship.
Wow. So with such a strong culture, I'm guessing the food and music are pretty distinctive too. What are the highlights?
Oh, absolutely central. Food-wise, Brittany is world famous for crepes, the sweet ones, usually wheat flour, and the savory galettes, made with buckwheat flour, often filled with ham, cheese, egg, the classic complete. You find creperies everywhere.
Can't beat a good galette.
Definitely not. But there's more. Kikha is like a Breton version of pot-au-feu, but with buckwheat dumplings cooked in a bag with the meat and veg. Very traditional. Cotrad is a hearty fish stew, their answer to bouillabaisse maybe. Uses local fish. For dessert, Far Breton is classic. It's a dense, baked custard cake, usually with prunes soaked in something nice.
It's delicious.
And you absolutely have to try the salted butter caramel. They put it on everything. Plus, of course, Cidre cider and Palates Bretons, those thick, buttery shortbread biscuits. Drink-wise, Cidre is king. But also Chouchin, which is a traditional Breton mead, honey wine.
Mead, okay, and the music. Celtic sounds.
Very much so. You have traditional Breton music featuring the Begad, that's Breton pipe band bombards, which are like loud traditional oboes, benue, the Breton bagpipes, and drums. Really powerful sound.
Like a Scottish pipe band, but Breton style.
Similar energy, yeah, but distinct instruments and repertoire. There's also Kanha, Discan. It's a call and response singing style, usually unaccompanied, specifically for dancing. Keeps the rhythm going for hours. Famous names. Alan Stivell was huge in popularizing the Celtic harp and Breton music worldwide back in the 70s. Still influential. The folk rock group Tryon has been around forever, very popular. More recently, Nolwenn Leroy had a massive hit album called Breton, singing traditional songs. And Dinez Christian is amazing. He mixes ancient Breton chants, gwers, with electronic music. Shows how the tradition evolves.
So it sounds like everything there tells a story, food, music, history. How does that strong identity come across visually? Like in clothing, the landscape, the people connected to its story?
Visually, it's quite striking. The traditional women's costumes, especially for festivals, are famous. Black dresses, aprons, but the real stars are the intricate lace headdresses, the coiffes. They vary dramatically from village to village. Some are these towering, elaborate structures of starched lace, especially around Pont-l'Abbé. Really works of art.
Wow, lace towers.
Yeah. Men traditionally wore vests, wide trousers, berets. You still see these costumes at festivals. It really connects you to the past. And of course, the coastal wear these striped sailor shirt, the marinière. That's become a French icon, but it has strong Breton roots.
True. And the landscape?
Oh, it's defined by that rugged coastline. Granite cliffs, sandy beaches, heathland covered in gorse and heather. Very dramatic. Inland, you have forests like Brocelion near Pompon, deeply linked to Arthurian legends, Merlin, the Lady of the Lake, ancient oaks, mystical atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, enchanted forest.
Pretty much. And the sea means abundant marine life, seals, seabirds, famous oysters, sardines. Inland, traditional farming with cows, pigs, and the Breton horse, that sturdy draft breed. People-wise, Anne of Brittany is a key historical figure. The last independent duchess, married 2 French kings, secured Brittany's place but negotiated its rights. Very important. And then the legends, Merlin, Arthur, Morgana Le Fay, they feel very present in the folklore and place names.
Even Asterix and Obelix have that connection, right, to ancient Armorica.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Symbolically, they represent that stubborn, independent spirit of ancient Brittany resisting outsiders. More modern figures. Jan Tiersen, the composer known for the Amélie soundtrack. He's from Brest. Erwan Lecour, founder of MOAT, the natural movement fitness thing. He credits the Breton landscape as inspiration, and that Breton identity is super active today. In politics, art, fashion, environmental causes, language activism, it's very much alive.
From mythical forests to these fortified pirate cities, Brittany really sounds like a place that fires the imagination. Which cities or landmarks really capture that spirit best?
There's so many great spots. Rennes is the capital, lively, lots of students, beautiful half-timbered houses downtown, great music scene. Quimper is lovely, known for its cathedral, its traditional faience pottery, that colorful hand-painted ceramic stuff, and lots of festivals.
The pottery, yes.
Vannes is a gorgeous walled medieval town right on the Gulf of Morbihan with all its islands, very picturesque. Saint-Malo is unmissable, that walled city rising right out of the sea. Strong pirate corsair history, feels very dramatic.
Definitely want to see Saint-Malo.
Brest is different. A major naval port, big oceanography center, was heavily bombed in WWII and rebuilt, so has a more modern feel in parts, but a strong maritime identity. Then you have Karnak. Those prehistoric standing stones, rows and rows of them, older than Stonehenge. Mind-boggling, really.
Older than Stonehenge. Oh, wow.
Pointe-du-Raz is pure wild Brittany. Dramatic cliffs, crashing waves, lighthouses, very atmospheric, especially in stormy weather. And Brocéliande Forest near Paimpont. You can visit sites linked to the legends, Merlin's tomb, the Fountain of Youth. It really leans into the mythology.
It's so clear that Brittany's identity is exceptionally strong. How is that pride expressed in its languages, its everyday sayings?
It comes through constantly. French is official, yes, but Breton, Brezonig, is a living Celtic language. Related to Welsh and Cornish, it's taught in schools. There are Breton language media. It's a real symbol of their unique identity and resilience. You'll also hear Gallo in some eastern parts, which is a Romance language different from Breton.
Okay, 2 distinct regional languages.
Exactly. And you'll hear Breton phrases. Brace da Viken, that means Brittany forever. A real rallying cry. Dejamermat is welcome. Trugeres is thank you. Kenavo is goodbye. Basic phrases you might see or hear. There's a line from a famous song. Mezogana de Cres Armor. I was born in the middle of the sea. Captures that deep connection to the ocean and homeland.
Powerful image.
And sayings like, Plijadurzo on Arvor. There's pleasure in the coastal area's seaside. Again, highlighting that maritime soul. And the motto, Ni en uno, ourselves alone. Associated with Breton nationalism, it really underlines that independent streak, and it loops back to that sentiment we mentioned. On est breton avant d'être français. Being Breton comes first. That sums up their pride.
It really is remarkable, isn't it? We've gone from proud to be châti in Hauts-de-France to Breton before French in Brittany. How can 2 regions technically in the same country be so profoundly different, each putting their own identity first like that?
It's a fantastic question. It gets right to the heart of understanding France, I think. Hauts-de-France. It's more than just a region. It's almost a case study in identity forged through shared hardship, industry, and then rebuilding. It challenges any simple, maybe romanticized view of France. It shows you this gritty, resilient, deeply communal identity, heavily influenced by its northern neighbors, by Belgium. Brittany, though. It shows the sheer power of deep cultural memory. Centuries after joining France, that ancient Celtic soul, that fierce independence, it persists. It's like a living counter-narrative within the larger nation. Its identity feels rooted in ancient heritage, in autonomy.
So geography, history, culture, they just took completely different turns.
Exactly. The specific geography, the industrial heartland versus the isolated peninsula. The specific history, WWI's impact versus centuries of independence. The specific cultural inputs, Flemish Walloon versus Celtic. It all led to these incredibly divergent paths. And for you listening, understanding these differences, these nuances, it just makes your appreciation of France so much deeper. It reveals this complex, layered, truly diverse country hiding behind the stereotypes. And there we have it, another deep dive of successfully navigated, I think. We've journeyed from the resilient north of Hauts-de-France to the ancient sea-swept lands of Brittany. gained some real insights into two incredibly unique French worlds.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you to take away. Think about the places you know well. How have their own layers of history, their own specific geography, shaped the identities you see there? And what hidden cultural gems, what unique stories might be waiting just beneath the surface, ready to be discovered?